first stage of clay is slip. Slip is clay, but the clay is not in this form. This clay has a lot of water that has been added to it. And adding that water creates this pudding-like consistency. And this form of clay, this pudding-like form of clay, is often found in some sort of container, and you will apply this form of clay, this slip, onto two pieces of clay that you're trying to join together. The slip is the glue that holds pieces of clay together. The second stage of clay is plastic clay. Plastic clay looks like a lump of clay, and this lump of clay is very soft. It's workable. It can be molded into different shapes, such as a sphere or a coil. And from these pieces that you've created, these forms, you could create vessels. Because the clay is soft and easy to move around, you can see here how this coil is being looped around this coil vessel to create a coil pot. This is the plastic stage of clay. The next stage of clay is leather hard. Leather hard clay is clay that can be carved using tools. You can see here that this piece of clay has been carved using a tool. They've taken one of these and carved in a design to their clay. This kind of clay, this leather hard clay, can hold its form. It's firm and stiff. And that's leather hard clay. The next stage of clay is bone dry. Bone dry clay has been left to sit out because it's finished. And by leaving it to sit out, the water that is in the clay evaporates. So all the water is sucked out of the clay into the air. It's now dry. This stage of clay, though, is very fragile. With all the water out of the clay, it is really easy to crack the clay. So you have to be really careful with it at this stage. These pieces are now ready to go into the kiln. The kiln is where they will be fired and set. The next stage of clay is bisqueware. Bisqueware are clay vessels that have gone into the kiln for the first time, been fired, and come out. They've been in the kiln one time. Now that they are out of the kiln, all the water has been taken out of them, and you may notice they've changed a little bit in color. They're more of a white as opposed to a gray. Now, those pieces are ready to be glazed. Bisqueware pieces are ready for glaze to be applied or to be painted, and that's bisqueware. The last stage of clay is glazeware. Glazeware pieces have gone into the kiln for the second time. When they go into the kiln, the glaze is dull. When they come out of the kiln, glazeware pieces are bright and shiny. Glazeware pieces are pieces of clay, which glaze has been applied to and fired for the second time.
And those are the stages of clay.